Hi there. Welcome to Computation in C. My name's Josh. I am a retired software engineer, and this course, which I'm calling Computation in C, is designed for beginners who want to form a foundation of knowledge about computers, programming, and more generally, the art or science of computation. I want to start by telling you a little bit about myself and my goals in this class. So, who am I? So, I'm 45 years old. I'm retired from a 20-year career in software engineering. I decided to leave my career and move to Mexico, where I'm focused on learning Spanish and looking into ideas, for my future. And I decided to do this course as a way to give back and as a way to sort of entertain myself a little bit. I enjoy reviewing topics that I've learned in the past, and especially reviewing maybe things in my education that I didn't fully understand the first time around. So let me tell you my story of getting involved with computers and with computer science. So I remember my family, we got our first computer in 1981. The company called Commodore introduced a device called the VIC-20 onto the market. And I remember my brothers and I got one for Christmas. And I'll show you quickly what this thing looked like. Kind of looked like these photos you see here. It was a very basic machine. It just had it looked kind of like a typewriter. You plugged it into your TV and you used your TV as a monitor. And all we really knew how to do with it as kids was we had a booklet and we would open up the book and in it would be a program in a language called BASIC. And we would spend, maybe an hour typing in these programs that would maybe be 100 lines. And then when we finally had it all entered in, we'd click run and something magical would happen. Maybe our name would flash across the screen, or the screen would be filled with colorful hearts or something. These were just toy programs that we were creating, and we didn't even know what they meant. We just entered in the words, word for word, out of a book, and that was kind of my first experience with a computer and what it would be like to program one. And though I didn't understand anything about what was happening, I kind of got fascinated with this idea of, I'm going to type in some sort of command, some sort of message, and this computer is going to understand what I want to do. It was years later before I started to understand how that worked. I took my first computer programming course in college. I was 19 years old, and the course was just called Programming in C, in the language of C. And I've chosen C for this course as well, partly for nostalgia. I just really like the C language, partly because the C language is really popular and gets used in tons of places across the modern computing world. Almost all of our operating systems were written in C. So Windows was written in C, Linux is written in C, Mac OS is written in C, or at least large parts of it are. So it's a very foundational language, and I think it'll be fun as a way to get started in your learning. All right, so I got my degree in computer science after I took my first programming course. And what I really discovered once I got out there in the world after a 20-year career is I found it to be a lucrative job, but pretty stressful. Nonetheless, it is probably one of the most valuable degrees a young person can get with regard to the current job market in major U.S. cities. So I think it's neat that I give back a little maybe to some people who don't have access to training or don't have access to university courses and give you sort of a foundation or an understanding of computers that might help you as you move forward in your life. Maybe you're going to study computers and get a career, or maybe just you'll be working around computers and knowing a little bit about how they work could be helpful to you. What I really learned after my career is that the thing I really fell in love with about computers were the concepts. And this has been something that I've seen in many areas of my life. I kind of enjoy just thinking about and learning about things really more than I do doing things. So there's some sort of passion that I have for the concepts of computing, which were so new and different to me as a young man than what I had spent the first 19 years of my education focused on, which was science, mathematics, physics, chemistry, etc. And to come into this world of computing and find out there was this whole world of ideas and mathematics and thinking that I had never been exposed to. I loved that idea that I was looking at something new. So here I am, I'm retired. Again, I'm going to do this course because I think it'll be enjoyable for me, but I also see this as a gift that I hope could be good for you. I want to take my time and really spend energy trying to help you understand how computers really work underneath the surface and how that might help us learn to be good programmers. So there are so many different courses and opportunities online to learn computing concepts. What do I think is going to be any different about this one? Well, for starters, I want to lay a foundation with you about how a computer really works as a physical machine. What's inside this computer that you're probably watching me on, and understanding its different parts is going to be reflected in how we program. And understanding a little bit about what's happening inside the machine can really give you a leg up when you start to think about writing complex programs. So I'm going to start with the foundation of the machine. Second, I definitely want to give you a foundation in programming. I'm not particularly interested in teaching you programming skills that would be useful for writing a modern program. There are so many languages and frameworks and tools that a software engineer really needs to learn to have a successful career. But all of those are just examples, permutations of the same thing again and again. It's the foundation of programming, I think, that is so essential to understand. What language you end up working in, what framework you end up working in, those are things you can learn later in your career. And I don't think, it's that important to understand those things right now. What is important to understand if you're a beginner are the foundational concepts of programming. And so that's where I'm going to really try to focus. And the last thing that I think is going to be a little different and interesting about this is I'm going to focus less on modern tools. So we're really going to focus on the foundations of programming. And I'm going to apply this less focus on modern tools also to the way that I present things to you. I don't plan on using PowerPoint slides and slide decks. I'm just going to use simple videos and simple handwriting to explain some different concepts to you. And we'll also dig into writing computer code using a development environment as well. So I'll be writing it, but that's going to be a very simple presentation where we'll just be looking at lines of text, the actual code. So I hope that by removing a lot of the modern distractions, we can really focus on what's essential and give you a great foundation. So I hope you'll tune back in to future posts. Our next and first post is going to be a review of the history of computation to try to help you get a picture of why computers got invented, how it came to pass that we created these devices, and what kind of problems were people trying to solve with them originally. So that'll be where we'll start. Hope to see you there, and have a great day.